Yeah, that's it. And I'm back. I'm Stack. I'm Malibu Stacey, and this is Stack's Tracks here on Apple 98.5 FM. We are real people playing real music with real microphones, and I've got a real special guest on the program. And I just want to give a big warm welcome to Jeff from We Are Change Melbourne. How are you going, Jeff?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be on the show and broadcast a message of hope and freedom to the listeners during this difficult time.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you. I hope to achieve the same thing. So we've got Jeff in from We Are Change Melbourne. We've got a pretty awesome show. It's going to be filled with a lot of controversial topics, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what he does, and also play some songs. Why not? Rock out while we're there.
Sounds good, yes.
That's it. So first thing I'm going to ask you, Jeff, is so what is We Are Change Melbourne?
We Are Change is an international organisation. I'm the chapter leader of We Are Change Melbourne. So I've been providing footage and interviews at protests, public speaking, and doing everything in my capacity to expose corruption.
Fantastic. And what type of corruption are we talking about?
It can be a whole range. Yeah, so recently I've been campaigning against the dumping of toxic soil here at Bacchus Marsh, and members of the community are outraged that this will be dumped so close to schools and market gardens. So
absolutely,
it's very empowering to give people an opportunity to have their voice heard on the We Are Change platform.
Not a problem.
Yes, and expose this corruption. So we've had members of Parliament on the show and concerned citizens.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's actually a video on the protest on the steps of Parliament, which I found. I wish I was there. I couldn't make it that day. I was so planning on going to the one that was supposed to be this Saturday. It's been temporarily postponed. But I just want to say a big thanks on behalf of the Malibu Shire for attending that protest and speaking up on behalf of people in Bacchus Marsh in regards to the toxic soil. So there's actually a video on it. Could you just tell us where to get that?
That can be found at We Are Change Melbourne clips, and on BitChute as well if you look up We Are Change Melbourne, all one word. So yes, it was powerful to see the community come together and express their outrage and disgust towards this. People weren't adequately informed beforehand.
Yeah, that's right.
They feel like the government has put up a barrier between themselves and the people, so we have to break that down, and we have to express just how outraged we are about this, because if we stay silent, that's virtually giving the approval for this to go ahead. So.
That's right. That's exactly right. I mean, as a resident here myself, I wasn't asked. I wasn't asked if it was okay. A lot of people know our town as being like one of the biggest produce. Our symbol here is a big apple behind me. We get a lot of our fruit and veg all over Victoria. Something like 6.4 million people. It spreads it around. I mean, it's one of the main. It's one of the main providers of fresh fruit and veg for people in Victoria. So it's really strange why they chose to dump it here, anyways.
Yes, it is strange. It poses a very serious threat to the agricultural industry, and farmers are really in a state of distress about this, and rightfully so.
Absolutely. And I mean, there hasn't really been much reassurance to show that it is safe dumping. It's just no one asked if it could go there. No one's given any proof on how safe it is, or there's no information about it. All there is that we know an ingredient, what's in it, and that goes on. That there's a little bit more about that in detail in regard on your video. PFAS. But you can just tell when you came here last time. We did another special on secret societies. However, we actually just got some people coming into the studio, but that's all right. We'll change over in a second. But when we actually did the exposure on the secret societies, you came and you could actually see all the posters of toxic soil around everywhere. You could just see how big of a deal it was in Bacchus Marsh. So thank you so much for coming down to that, and you're going to be at the next one on June 19th?
Yes, I will, and I look forward to doing so, helping people in the community, express just how upset they are about this. And that's right, secret societies. I'm always inundated with emails and messages from people that request that I follow up on
Yeah.
certain matters.
Yeah.
And when they've exhausted all opportunities, they might have contacted other mainstream media outlets and been rejected. So yes, it's wonderful to be able to provide that for people and follow up on some of these serious matters and shed a bit of light on what's going on.
Yeah, thank you so much for thank you so much for what you've done already, and the next one is going to be more of us there, just to make our voices heard. So we're going to actually jump into a song. This is going to be kind of a fitting song. It's going to be a fitting song, and then we'll get into some sponsors. So enjoy. We're going to start the program with a bit of Rage Against the Machine. Now this one, if there's any kids listening, there has some explicit lyrics, so I did a warning at the start of the show. So yeah, block your ears, or parents, just be mindful. There's a little bit of swearing, but it's all in for good reason. This is Rage Against the Machine. That's it. So yeah, we're listening to Apple 98.5 FM, and the next song that we got coming up is a beauty. But first I just want to talk about that song, Runaway Train by Collective Soul, and the reason why I chose that one this evening. So I chose that song because of the film clip. It's about all the children that go missing in America. And if you type it into YouTube and you actually watch the film clip, it's actually, it's actually quite, it actually shows clips of missing children that are actually out there. So it's an old song, it's one from back in the day, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there because everyone should care about the kids. What do you reckon?
Yes, most certainly. And the child trafficking is happening on an industrial scale. That's one of the things we've covered at We Are Change Melbourne.
That's right.
Yes, a lot of information has been brought forward, and we have to expose this.
That's right, exactly, we do. I mean, people that think that it doesn't relate to them, but it really does. And you think about it, and the same people that are making rules in regards to travel, in regards to lockdowns, in regards to who you can see in your family, vaccines and poisons, and who's making decisions in regards to everything, dumping of toxic soil, dumping of everything.
Yes.
You think these are the same people that they're all mates, they're all part of a big club that put a 90-year suppression order against 28 people that are prominent in all over the place, in the judiciary system, in Parliament, that are still practicing. Really, really important people, celebrities. There's a big list of them. You can actually go and see there. But the problem is that there's a suppression order covering up pedophilia. I'm just going to put it out there. So trigger warning, but we're not going to go right into that. It's a bit too deep and dark for this time. But just remember, guys, that this is actually, these are the people that we're taking orders from. They've put suppression orders against. Why wouldn't we want to know who those people are? It's actually illegal to. It's not illegal. They're just, those files are classified, so no one can know about it because the government said that they don't think that we could handle it. So, anyways, I'll just put that one out there. Child trafficking and that general trade is prominent in Australia, and people just need to be more aware to it and also be aware of why the government wants to cover that up.
Bill Heffernan actually spoke about that too, didn't he? And yes, it's like these predators have been given immunity to commit these atrocious crimes.
That's right.
And we need to put an end to that immediately. There's petitions being circulated. Many people are doing fantastic work to try and lift the veil on that.
That's right.
Because if we don't stand up for children, then we don't stand for much. So
that's right. I mean, we're meant to protect them, not just our own, but if you want to find out more on the subject, I'm going to refer you to, a lot of your videos, obviously, at We Are Change Melbourne. But there's a few people that are trying to expose it at the moment. Who I learnt the most from was a lady by the name of Karen Brewer from the Bush Telegraph. If you look her up, you'll be able to find out more about it. And she goes into a lot of detail.
She most certainly
every
does.
day.
Yes.
And good on her, because you know what? Like she's fighting hard to get this exposed. She's really fighting hard. And she does a lot of research around it, as well as many other people. A lot of it's getting exposed, and props to those people that are trying to expose it. So So thank you with what you've done and the work that you've done as well.
Yes, it really takes a combined effort of concerned people to step forward and really do their best to bring forward information that is rarely seen in the mainstream media. See, when you have independent media sources that are covering this, it helps the public make a more informed decision on what's taking place in our judiciary and other areas, even the medical system as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's been a lot of exposure sort of coming out recently as well. So a lot more people are waking up, and I wonder if it's because of these a lot of the YouTubers like yourself, or just independent media, that now the actual media has to sort of play. It's too much is getting exposed, so now they're like, well, can't beat them, join them. And so some of them are starting to slowly have the truth stripped. But most of it's flat out lies. So anything that you hear and you see on TV, just question it. Not saying everything's a lie, but just question everything. As these are the same people that are covering up names, big names, suppression orders over the pedophiles that are still practicing today. So you kind of got to think. And there's a lot of people that own those television networks, and you kind of got to think, why? That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes, very important that you raise that. Very nefarious what's taking place, and it's suspicious when they're not giving adequate exposure to this particular subject. It's all being covered up. So yes, we need more people out there really raising attention to this matter, and hopefully we can get some justice for some of the victims.
That's right. But we all got to be careful while doing it, because otherwise, actually no, I'm not going to say that. The reason why I was going to say it was brought me to the song that I was going to play, this next song. This is a personal opinion, but Linkin Park, everyone knows that listens to my station knows that I go on a little bit about, Chester Bennington in particular, and Chris Corner, who are working on a documentary exposing what we were just talking about, and they mysterious deaths are, a month apart from each other. So there's a few reasons I'm going to play that. I'm going to play Linkin Park, but I'm also going to play this particular song because I just want to, on a lighter note, I just want to wish my sister a very, very happy birthday for yesterday, and this is a song that her and I we love to thrash. So. So this one is for you, Melissa, and this is Linkin Park in the end. That's it. That was just a word from our sponsors. That was a word from our sponsors. You're listening to Apple 98.5 FM. I'm Malibu Stacey, and this is Stax Tracks. Right now it's 6:32 p.m. on the 26th of May, and I'm back after about six-ish weeks off. So, thank you. And we've got, as we mentioned before, we've got Jeff from We Are Change Melbourne. He's also got another channel called Jeffrow Productions, where he's put a lot of his stuff. And he's been batting for us here at Bacchus Marsh at the Malibu Shire in regards to one of the things is the toxic soil and the dumping that should have been illegal that's been here in Bacchus Marsh. There's a lot of questions asked, for example, like why choose Bacchus Marsh? Like why wasn't the public consulted about this? Why wasn't the locals consulted? And also, if what safety precautions are out there? The public hasn't been. Why is that all kept secret if it's all safe? Obviously there's something to hide, They just need to be more transparent with everything. That's my belief anyway. What do you think?
They certainly do, and I believe we have a moral obligation to do what's right for humanity and the environment, because this will impact future generations if we don't take action now.
That's right. We don't want the effects of any dangerous chemicals going into our food supply or into the air. As a lot of the locals here fear their futures and the futures of their unborn children even, it depends on who you speak with. There's people saying that how it's actually contained, it's actually safe. It's not straight into the soil. There's actually a barrier around it to keep it, But the public haven't been advised any of this, or the higher ups haven't even advised, haven't said anything. This is just all by my own investigations and my own conversations. So, the government the government actually just needs to be more transparent and actually and give us some answers. That's all we're asking, is for some answers. I'm going to actually share a little bit of the Parliament. The Parliament House protest against the toxic soil dumping in Bacchus Marsh. That's all right with you?
Thank you.
No worries, and they can find it on
Jeffrow Productions, and We Are Change Melbourne, all one word on BitChute. So
yep. This one's up on YouTube, so I'm going to be playing that segment, and we'll go from there. That's it. Listening to Apple 98.5 FM. Real people, real music, real microphones. Real people from YouTube channels and from BitChute and also Instagram. Telegram, I think, as well. Maybe not yet.
A few different platforms.
Rumble.
And it's always good to take advantage of opportunities to broadcast on the radio as well. And I've also made TV appearances, panel discussions.
Excellent, excellent. We Are Change Melbourne, for those that have just tuned in. This is Jeff from We Are Change. And he's also got another YouTube channel, Jeffrow Productions. So if you wanted to see a little bit more about what you heard about earlier, you can look that up a little bit more. But yeah, transparency. It's all about communication and honesty. Honesty. Big truth seekers.
It certainly is. It was powerful to host a We Are Change talk show, Call Us Special, where people phoned through suffering from the devastation caused by COVID restrictions. Sometimes their mask exemptions, for instance, weren't being honoured. People have suffered financial difficulty, lost wages, unfair dismissal has come into play. There's been a whole range of issues that are affecting our community.
Yeah, that's right. And some may argue more so than COVID itself.
Exactly.
And you know, there's without sounding like a COVID-19 denier, there's no doubt that it exists. There's just a lot of questions in regards to the extreme measures that have been taking place. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I know a lot more people that that have been affected in terrible ways because of the restrictions and the fear and the effects on the businesses and everything like that, and personal depression and mental illness. I know a lot more people affected by that than I do that have actually. I don't know anybody that's had COVID. I don't know anybody. But that's just in my little bubble. There's other people around that have. But yeah, so you've been doing a lot of research in regards to that and the vaccines and just about the questions of what's in it. And it's not about whether or not that it's a good or bad thing. I think that what a lot of the points that you tried to make in the protests and some of the speeches that I've heard is that there's not enough information in regards to what's in them for people to make informed choices, and also there's somehow there's also just censorship of real experiences of people.
That's exactly what's happening. Said. People deserve all the information possible before making important decisions regarding their health, and the censorship has been an overwhelming problem. Anybody that puts up videos or content that counteracts the World Health Organization, they find videos removed and channels terminated. Yeah.
And so that's been a massive issue in regards to people that even just ask questions, you know, and then that's all we're doing today. It's not always the best solution for everybody, and sometimes for some people it's actually your immune system.
That's right. And you can strengthen the immune system with diet, exercise.
That's right.
Good nutrition.
That's right. So yeah, I do believe that people should be able to make informed choices in regards to that, and not have it mandatory in the future. But yeah, so that's a really important point to bring up. So thank you. If you. That's all it is. It's about being communication, it's about honesty, and it's also about freedom of choice.
Yes.
Yeah, freedom of choice. So that's what we're all about.
Yes, that's right. And trying to avoid medical tyranny. We've seen a lot of bribery and coercion, and that's not the way it should be structured. That's
right. It's all about. I mean, we care about each other. We all want everybody to be happy and healthy.
Yes.
And to some of the forceful measures that have been put in place that I've seen, you kind of think, what does this sound like? Where have we seen this? And it doesn't take you back to a very good place. But anyway, we're going to move right along from that, and we're going to play a song, and I hope that you all enjoy it. That's it, and that was Audio Slave with "Show Me How to Live." And we've got a request. I just want to give a big shout out. Thanks so much for your feedback, Clinton. and it really means a lot to know that we're on the right track and doing the right thing for our community. So thank you for your feedback. And this next song is going to be for you. Clinton has actually requested we're going to be hearing Disturbed Sounds of Silence. That's right, we are. We're talking to the community here on Apple 98.5. I'm Malibu Stacey, and we've actually got Jeff from We Are Change Melbourne in the studio.
Great to be on the show.
Oh, it's great to have you. Now, I'm just going to ask you, how long have you been a journalist for?
For about 6 years.
About 6 years? Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And I've interviewed doctors, lawyers, politicians, members of the community.
Yeah.
Been covering all bases to get the message across that we will not tolerate tyranny and we will do everything in our power to expose corruption wherever we see it. That's it. And you've been doing a great job. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've learned a lot from your program and some of the guests that you have on it. And speaking of which, somebody else that I admire in watching videos of, and I've learned a lot from, is a gentleman by the name of David Icke. Now, I thought it was quite fitting that we play a song from, it's a recent one that was uploaded, so I've only heard the start of it. His son's called Gareth Icke, and he's a musician. And I've only just heard the start of this one. I was going to play a different one, but I thought I'm going to give this one a bit of playback. David Icke was someone who opened my eyes up to a lot of things. And at first I was like, I'm not sure about that, but it sounds like it makes sense, and he says some big words, and he sounds so sure of himself. I go, but that seems a bit out there. But when I actually followed up and listened to a lot of the things that he had to say, actually followed up on evidence to back up what he said, I should say. A lot of it made sense.
Yes, David is definitely ahead of the times.
Yeah.
And a lot of the predictions he made have come into fruition. We're seeing that now. So travelled to so many countries, interviewed all people from different civilizations, walks of life, and all that's culminated in so much research. He has a wealth of knowledge that has been imparted onto the public, and he himself has been battling with censorship too. Yeah, he
was banned from. He was one of the pioneers to be banned from YouTube, wasn't he?
Certainly was.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things we're seeing now, he was talking about 10 years ago, even longer.
Even longer.
Yes.
Did you ever see that interview that he did when he was wearing the turquoise tracksuit? Back when he was first having his own awakening.
Yes.
I just love his demeanour. I love his demeanour, and when he gets ridiculed, he holds his head right up high, and he's like, that's fine. I guess a lot of people in the truth community do get laughed at or scoffed at, labelled conspiracy theorists, when that's just a term that the government put in there to,
That's
what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and he was on a program that was called The Wogan Show, and he was met with laughter, and yes, they tried to slander his reputation. He was definitely faced with a lot of ridicule and backlash, and he has been vindicated in recent times. They've apologised for the way they handled that. Yeah. And so
that's good.
It is wonderful to see, isn't it?
That's right, it is, and his family's right behind him. You can tell that they're not trying to go, oh my God, he's talking again. They actually fully believe in everything that he speaks about, and his son is an amazing musician, so I'm going to play a song from his now. It's called Get Your Love On by Gareth Icke, so enjoy on those conspiracy theorists. But the few phone calls that we've had have said quite the opposite, which so thank you for the people that have been calling up. We've had a few phone calls, all the songs were on. So thanks so much for the feedback, the positive feedback that we've had with the subject matters that I think are rather important. And but there's I could go on about what they call conspiracy. I've got inverted commas going up all day. I mentioned suppression orders earlier. There's more than that suppression order out there in the government. The question that I want you guys to ask is, and I'm being very, very careful when I tiptoe around this, is why is there a suppression order in regards to the files, in regards to a massive incident that happened in a place called Porter. Well, that's another one, but that's not something that we're going to discuss this show. We don't have the time. But I just wanted to throw that in there while we're talking about suppression orders before. That's interesting. That's interesting. But we've got a request, and I want to give a big shout out to Brendan. Brendan, hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for your request. You've requested a song by the Angels, Take a Long Line. So I'm going to play that for you, and I hope you're having a great day and enjoying the show. We're going to be ending this show a little bit earlier than planned, so we're going to finish off with something. This one's for the conspiracy theorists, so if we could actually just go into a word from our sponsors, and then we'll get started. Looks like we're getting moved, so thanks.